Very welcome to our talk show today here from the southern part of Vienna in Austria. Today we are talking about darts and the special things about darts in Europe, policies, challenges and also potentials. And for this event we have gathered some very decent people sharing with us their opinions on these topics, and I'd like to introduce our guests, and we start with Daniela Comiaga from Romania. She is the General Secretary of the Romanian Darts Federation, has organized lots and lots of even the biggest tournaments, from very small to very big tournaments. You were also part of the committee for organizing the WDF World Cup in 2019. And are very experienced due to your job and profession in an international environment. So very welcome to Vienna.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here with you.
Thank you very much. We also have from Iceland, Ingibjörg Magnusdóttir, who is part of the Icelandic Federation of Disabled Darts. And you are also a player, very experienced player for the Icelandic national team. You have years of experience with that, and but your heart is beating for the disabled people in darts and for paradarts. So you're very involved in the Icelandic organization around paradarts and enabling disabled persons to play darts.
Yes, happy to be here.
Thank you very much for coming. On my left, we have Mikkel Skolen from Denmark. He is not only part of the Danish Darts organization in terms of being a member of the executive committee, he is also the president of the European Darts Council. And as most of our guests, very experienced and long years being involved in darts, in the Danish Darts organization, being involved in organizing events, and especially in foreign affairs. And that is why he is also head of the European Darts Council, which is basically the commission of the World Darts Federation taking care of the European issues. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you for the invitation.
On my right side, we have also Enikő Harsányi from Hungary, from the Hungarian Darts Federation. Also started as a player and is now working for and as the Hungarian Darts Federation, especially for the foreign affairs, so international relations. And you have also been part of the committee doing organizational stuff and being heavily involved in all the relations the Hungarian Darts Federation have to international partners. So thank you very much for coming.
Thank you for the nice introduction, and thank you for having me here.
And last but not least, we have from Turkey, Professor Çilla Dursun, who is a professor at the University of Ankara and has been the lead of the project we are actually talking all about, the Digidarts 2024 project. You have initiated, you have actually founded it, you have gathered all the partners, and you have had the lead during the last 2 years of our project, and have actually made everything of this, what we are talking about, possible.
Thank you, Dietmar. We did it all together, actually, and I'm glad to be here in this webinar of our project, Digidarts project, Darts Under Discussion. So we will share our opinions and experiences in darts area through your moderation. Thank you very much.
And we also have another guest who couldn't make it today to Vienna, but who is joining us digitally and virtually. So we say hello to Mete Özdemirci. He is in Ankara now, in Turkey. And Dr. Özdemirci has been, or was actually, the vice president of the Turkish Darts Federation long time ago. In that function, he was also responsible for hosting the 2015 WDF World Cup in Kemer in Turkey. So he is very experienced not only in darts at all, but especially in organizing events. And he is now, as part of the advisory board of the Digidarts project, one of the experts we have to advise us and to help us developing our works around our goals. Hello, Mete.
Good afternoon, Dietmar and everybody. Even though I cannot be there with you, I'm very pleased to be a part of this experience, to join you from the comfort of my home.
Thank you very much. I'm very happy that we could make it all today here together. And we like to start immediately about our today's topic, which is, I once again repeat it, the challenges, the policies, and also the potentials of darts in Europe. And when we are talking about darts, I think, first of all, we need to understand what actually darts is. Are we talking about this funny little pub game where you're having a pint and gathering together with some friends and throwing on a dartboard? Or are we actually talking about darts as sports where top-tier athletes with high precision, with a high level of focus, achieve marvelous, precise results that are unimaginable for non-trained players. So what are we talking about? Is this grassroots level or is this top-tier athlete? And what are the differences? How can we, who can we address to? How is it in Romania, for example?
Well, our country is fairly new in darts, and the spread of darts in Romania is not what we would like so much. We have both in our country. We have the grassroots darts, which means that we have players that are playing for fun, and then they develop the passion and they start going to a more serious game, transforming themselves in players that they actually can play best players in the world. And we had very good results, even though we are a small community. And also, it's very difficult to make a separation between grassroots darts and top-tier darts, because top-tier darts without grassroots darts will never exist. You start with a pint and throwing for fun in a pub. You develop the passion. You become interested in what darts really, really is. Because if somebody believes that darts is an easy game, they are very wrong. Darts is a very complex game. Mainly, it's a mind game. So if your mind is not where it's supposed to be, you'll never be a good darts player. So then you have to make a decision about what you want to do. If you want to go to be a top-tier athlete, so you change your mentality and go for that. If you're happy throwing darts for fun in a pub, yes, you can do that very well. And you can enjoy darts as a fun game. So that's the main thing. And the group, the composition of darts communities, they reflect very well the society because it's a very eclectic group. You can have in a team a doctor, an unemployed person, an architect. They play together. It doesn't matter who you are and what you are. And that's what I love about darts. Because it doesn't matter what you do. When you're playing darts, you are in a darts community and you're all together the same with everybody else.
And let me reflect your opinion, because we are kind of a veteran in this area because we have been established at the early 90s. So we do have a lot of experience, and I think it is a little bit of both. It depends on the player itself. I mean, if the player decides to stay on a certain level, then that is darts for him or her. And if he decides to take it very seriously, then that player can go up to high levels, even to the top of the world. And there is another, well, there are certain topics we have already touched. I think if we are looking at the society and looking at the Darts society, there is a big difference, and I think this is in line with the aim of this project as well, that there are certain groups of players who are underrepresented, which means that, for example, in the society, men and women are like 50-50, let's say. In darts, it's not. It's way less women players, way less professional women players than men, which means that if we are asking whether this is the pure equivalent of the society, I would say no. But yeah, I mean, if you have other opinion, I'm happy to.
So you're saying basically that we have less women and youth and
disabled,
I think
yeah.
disabled in general in society than compared the ratio in our sports.
No, I think in the sport we have less players, like women
Got it.
players. Yeah, so the
yeah.
other way around, but yes.
Okay, so this
Yeah.
is an international experience. Mikkel, you're responsible for all of Europe, so maybe is this an experience we have in all of Europe, or is this just single countries?
I think this is a problem in a lot of countries where we have too few women playing darts and also youth players. In Denmark, especially, if we go back to the 90s, we had 3 times more players, youth players, that we have today. So I think this is a big problem all over Europe.
So we do have an active female player with us, Ingebjørg. So maybe from your perspective, so how did you start, and why did you get the passion for it? I mean, you were representing Iceland in several occasions in the national team. So how is the situation with women in darts in Iceland? Is this similar, and why, in your opinion, is that?
Well, it is similar, and I think it has mostly to do with the time that you're willing to share from your family to do a sport that you like. Yeah, I think that's the biggest, to juggle the family and the sport.
Okay, so but in that case, let's come back to the discussion grassroots darts and top tier level darts. We are talking about like top athletes. That means you are the tip of the iceberg. And as you have said, this means a lot of dedication because you are away a lot, you need to train a lot, and this affects, of course, your family life. Yeah. So, but what about the situation in grassroots, where it's more or less like not international, but more local?
Yeah, we have a lot more women starting to play now. When I started, there were 10 women all over Iceland, and now I think Akranes, a club, they just started, and there were like 40 women that showed up to my beginners course there. So I think probably around 100, 120 are playing darts in their club, but 20 to 30 of them are trying to become the top tier.
May I add something?
Of course.
When we think about darts game itself, we also recognize that this is a kind of game or sports which is not demanding too much expenses for sports equipments or things like that. That's why we can say that this is a middle class or labor class people of the society who can enter and continue if dedicated or likes that sport, and that means this is an inclusiveness of this sport is a huge when compared to the other team sports or to the other, for example, sports like golf or tennis or things like that, especially in the underdeveloped countries or third world countries when we compare to the other countries. That's I'm emphasizing this because it looks like it covers all the people in society, especially middle class or labor class. However, my friends are pointing that there is still some kind of exclusive, excluding features of this sport related to the women's disabled players and youth sometimes, some countries. So that's why Digidarts project tried to enhance the capacity of the societies, dart societies, to be more inclusive and diverse as players.
So there's, we all have now found out there is an issue. Who, in your opinion, should take care of it? How or where can we improve that? And who should be responsible for that? Who is the one who can make it more accessible or more probable that more women, also kids and disabled people, are joining? Daniela?
Well, I think that it depends on how your country, well, darts phenomena is structured in your country. For us, being the only structure in our country, it depends on us very much. So we are trying very hard to encourage local leagues, local competitions, amateur competitions, in order to attract as many people as we can, so that they can learn that this is a game that they can play without spending any money if they remain to the grassroots. Because the moment you decide you go performing in darts, then it's a completely different issue. Because there intervenes the financial problems, the time that you can allocate only for that, and it's a different discussion. But what we do, we did encourage women to continue playing. About 3 years ago, we had in our local national competitions around 10, 12 women competing regularly. Now we reached 24 women playing, and the level of the game raised up because we have more competition in the country. However, we all agree that women, youth and para darts players are a category that is disadvantaged. But I think that every single one of them, there is a cause behind it. For women, mostly is that they have to juggle a job, a family, and darts, which is a very complicated thing. The moment you have children, then your time for yourself is very little. So that's one of the things. The same with the youth and the same with the para darts. There is also, in some countries, a matter of mentality, because you connect darts with the pub, because that's how people find out about darts. Seeing somebody throwing a dart in a pub and, wow, it's interesting, how about me playing? If you are a woman, generally you don't go in the pub by yourself. You may go with your friends, but if you see 4 men playing at a darts board, you're not really into going and saying, hey, can I play, or would you let me play? And they are just, trying to look at it and maybe practicing at home or finding some places where it's more accessible. So that's another issue.
So you're saying probably it would help creating spaces where
exactly.
you have the possibility to get access to darts.
Yeah, a safer place for everybody, youth, women, the same. that's very difficult to achieve.
But this is actually a topic many sports, different kind of sports have.
Yeah.
And you call, and that is why they have own places where they are doing the sports. I mean, it's very clear, to play football, you need a football field, okay? Darts is a little bit different because we don't have that much necessities. We don't need much. We need a wall, and that's it, basically. And like 4 meters of space, and you can play darts. So maybe this is one of the solutions to create more spaces who are not public or in pubs, you know, and but maybe create spaces like clubs, more or less, where you can join and use it. Is this something, for example, in Hungary, this is already existing?
We do have places like that, but let me just go back 2 steps. One of that is that I think one area is the pubs where they meet with this sport, and I agree with you on that one. But also I think the other main magnet to the sport is the TV broadcasted tournaments, where they can see the others playing, and then they can cheer, and then they decide that I can do that too, or I could do that too, and I want to be there too. And I think this is, for us who wants to, you know, have more women players, is the best timing to gather them, because now we have their attention, now we have the time, they have the you know, the need, so we just need to match these two. So I think the best is if we can combine this time with an amateur tournament, or with a possibility to play, and also to give the space, referring to the other activities women players usually have. I think the best would be, and this is something which is just on a idea level at the moment in Hungary, to have, I don't know, like an animator and a safe place for kids, for women players who come to play darts and then can leave their kids in another room with a person who can, you know, grab their attention and play with them, and let mommy play during that time. You know what I mean? So I think that would be something which we could offer for those who are mothers and don't want to steal their time from their kids.
Maybe Mette has some information, because as we know, like traditionally, women are very strong in Turkey. So Turkey is very famous for strong girls and women in darts. Just the last Lakeside saw with Zera Gemil, a Turkish winner in the girls competition, in the under-18 girls competition, but also many famous female players came from Turkey. Mette, even in your time, when you were used to be the vice president of the Turkish Darts Federation, what are you doing what is good, and what we can learn from?
Yeah, actually, we are having the problem backwards. We have up to 10,000 youth players, and they are gender equal, 5,000 girls and 5,000 boys, and we lose them on the way before they become elite players. You know, this topic directly connects to the long-standing pub image of darts. If this image cannot be meaningfully reduced or redefined, it becomes almost impossible, especially in Turkey, to align darts with broader social standards and expectations. The darts community in Turkey is highly educated, largely drawn from the middle and middle upper class socio-economical classes. This is an important distinction from many European contexts. In Turkey, pubs are relatively expensive compared to average income levels. The minimum wage is significantly lower than the most of the European countries. As a result, regular pub attendance is not socially or economically accessible to large segments of the population. In addition, Although Turkey is a secular country, nearly half of the population avoids alcohol and pub environments altogether for cultural or personal reasons. This creates a structural barrier. If darts remains strongly associated with alcohol-centered venues, it automatically excludes a substantial part of the society. The situation about the youth is particularly challenging because the recent success of Zehra Gemi and or other girls in the World Darts Championship. They are winning their events at the youth stage, but we lose them on the way. After graduating from high school, it becomes extremely difficult for talented young players to continue competing at a high level. For example, in cities like Denizli, which is Zehra is from, competitive playing venues are scarce or non-existent outside informal settings. Many promising players are lost after graduation because it's not possible to make a living out of darts in Turkey and most of Europe. Participation in European tournaments are limited by visa requirements and high travel costs. There's no sustainable domestic competition structure to bridge this gap. But regarding the gender inclusion, there is no significant difference in opportunity or acceptance between men and women within Turkish darts. However, the situation is far more problematic for players with disabilities. Accessible venues are extremely rare, and participation largely depends on self-organized clubs. To our best knowledge, there's currently only one official sports club dedicated to disabled darts players in Turkey. This context highlights the importance of our initiative Play a Part project, according to me. Creating a digital playing environment will allow players, especially those who remain in their homes and hometowns, face mobility challenges, or avoid pub settings for whatever reason, or Play a Part project can be very relevant. And as you know, as we have seen in the COVID-19 lockdowns, when physical venues are inaccessible, a digital darts ecosystem would not only support our inclusion, but also act as a resilient solution during future disruptions and ensuring for players at all levels to have a place to compete at higher levels. Thank you.
Spaces to do our sports, especially for these kind of vulnerable groups in our society. So if there's a lack of space, as we have seen, so maybe, as you now say, we can create the own home, the own flat as a space to play darts and to connect everybody just digitally. We have already seen the first steps in development of that during the pandemic, when we were all forced, to stay at home, and every interaction was really, really limited. But maybe this is one of the solutions. Ingebjörg, what were you thinking about that?
It could be, yeah. It's not the same. It's not the same mentality. But I want to address because Mette is talking about the youth stopping to play at a certain age. That is all sports that have problems with that. And that is something they are looking at least in Iceland, like why are they quitting the sports? And some of the things that have been mentioned is that the pressure is too much. So I actually think that darts could grab those kids. If the pressure is too much in the other sports, they could come and play darts and have fun. Not pressure darts, but just to have fun, to keep them in a sport. And regarding the women, in Iceland we did women and kids tournament, or father and teenager. And that helped. We have a lot of women and their children playing together. So that helped bringing in more youth and more women to the darts.
So do you have in Iceland enough like space, public space or semi-public space in terms of a club or something with restricted access to give a safe space to get in touch with darts?
We're getting there. We're just actually now in January, our disabled players are getting access to a new club that just started this year, so we're looking forward to that. We have a lot of clubs compared to how small of a country we are. We have Bullseye, which is the biggest dart place in Europe, I think. It's like, I don't know, 40 boards or something, open every day for everybody, but it costs money. Two more, Aki and Skor. So a lot of, it's like compared to how small we are, we have so many places that you can play darts. But for the kids, we have the clubs. And when there are kids, there's no alcohol.
So as you mentioned alcohol, this is one of the prejudices darts always has. It's all about alcohol. We do have to acknowledge there is an issue, and it is not deniable. But we don't have to be afraid of it. You know, in other sports you have this too. If you go to a football stadium, they make a lot of money with selling beer to the audience. Our issue is that with the players. So in your perception as player or even former players, what is your experience? Mikkel, for example, is alcohol an issue? Is this something we need, or is something we should avoid, or is it doesn't matter? What is your opinion or your perception of that?
I think alcohol is a big problem in darts because which parents want to send their child on a pub, and that's actually what it's look like. We also have clubs in Denmark, I think 140 clubs. But what is the difference from the clubs to the pub? So, and we also have alcohol in the clubs. So I think the alcohol is a big problem. But I also think this is something who will change over the next years, because when I see new players today, they don't drink when they come on Monday or Wednesday or these weekdays. Most of them have a work they're going for the next day. So I think this will change over some years.
I agree. When I started, I think probably 90% of the people that were playing had a beer or some other drinks. But in Iceland, I think we're around 50-50 now. We're going very fast down with people choosing not to drink.
And is it different whether we are talking about a local league evening or an international WDF ranked tournament? Is that the difference in the consumption of alcohol?
Yes, probably a little more in the local clubs, but less and less in the bigger tournaments.
So the better the player gets,
the less he drinks.
Is that a trend? Is this we all are perceiving?
Is that authentically shaped, or is that you force them not to drink when they are going higher level?
No, they can.
They can.
Not like when I was president of our federation, it was allowed to drink when you were playing, but we took that out. So you have a special area where you can drink and not in the venue, and that put the numbers down. And yeah, so today they can go outside, but not during the game, and that of course affects how much they drink.
I'm asking because we were one of the nations who decided to ban alcohol in darts. I think you may remember to that one, and that
Absolutely.
that was because of the kids, the youth, because the youth players can see the adult players, and they are like the idols for them. And if they see that the adult good player is drinking as well, then they might think that they want to drink as well. Because this is the way how they are getting better than I am, and this is the key to the game. So we decided to do the zero alcohol on the national level, but we do have a league on the lower level where they can have drinks if they want.
Okay.
So it is like you have to decide whether you want to be a professional player or whether you are staying on the lower tier.
Yeah. So on international level, you have clear regulations that you're not allowed anymore, I have to say, to have your alcohol with you. We maybe remember some vintage videos from the 70s and 80s where even the players on the stage in TV had like a beer and a cigarette while playing.
It's in the
And while
documentary because
absolutely,
that was one of the things that really shocked me, and I was certain that will shock everybody to see those images.
so
with players.
interestingly enough, we got rid of these kind of pictures. So, but we are still talking about that that players are drinking during a tournament. I mean, you got a regulation where you not only separate in situ, that means at the venue, where you have a playing area and I don't know, a sitting area where you can eat and drink, but you also ban alcohol there. Is that correct in Hungary?
Yes, it is like during the tournament when you are still in the tournament. You any time you can expect to get tested. So we are not just saying that you are banned to drink, but we are checking them whether they are drinking or not. And if they do, then they are eliminated from the tournament and probably from the next 2-3 tournaments as well. So it's really in their, how to say, interest to not to, break the rule.
How did your players decrease when they at first, or how did?
No, actually, slightly yes, but in majority no. But we have heard the voices, so they were mad. They had their own opinion and everything, so they were not happy about it. I have to admit. But after
Nobody's
a while,
happy with the change,
of course. But after a while, and after we had the kids, the new generation who saw that this is also possible without the alcohol, and also when they realized that the results are the level of the play is the same, then they realize that it's okay, I have to decide whether I do that or not. The problem is with those who have started to play with alcohol, and then it's very hard for them to play without it because they think it's helping, and I think it's a mindset.
It is, yeah. When did you do this?
Many years ago, I don't know.
Okay, interesting.
Must be something before the pandemic.
Yes, before the pandemic for sure. I don't know by heart. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what we all have, as well as on national as an international level, is a ban for alcohol for under 18 players, and we are very happy that we now have also introduced a under 23 age category on international level and in many countries. Not everywhere this has become already reality, but also internationally, for under 23, it is not allowed to drink alcohol during the whole time of the tournament. That means even if it's legal in your country that they can drink alcohol, during that tournament, no way. And the experience, at least in Austria, is quite good because we are also doing testing. And now they have a lot of years altogether where they get used to a play without alcohol, and we prolonged actually that time of experience for this under 23 age category, and we see now that a generation of players is growing that don't need any more alcohol. And what is your experience, or what is your idea? Maybe Mette, what is happening then? Will this change the shape of darts?
Yes, profoundly. At casual level, alcohol is often seen as something to take the edge off. A drink can reduce tension, lower anxiety, help player to relax. But this changes when the player starts to play seriously. This changes when the stakes increase, when players move from casual play to competition level, especially on a final stage under lights, cameras, large audiences, the pressure becomes far more intense. And at that level, there comes the real problem of alcohol. There are a lot of alcoholic people which cannot even throw a single dart without drinking certain amounts of alcohol. So here the main problem is if an activity that aims to be recognized as sports, performance should be based on skill, training, mental discipline, and fair competition, not on chemical support to manage stress or anxiety.
And
At
this is
higher levels,
not only affecting alcohol. Do we have maybe all other substances as well when we're talking about doping? I mean, most of the people would not bring darts in context with doping, but also in darts it is possible to have an enhancement of your precision, of your focus, of your flow by external like drugs, whatever kind of things. Mete, is this? Do you know other things that
yes,
could
yes,
help?
yes, especially beta blockers, which are essentially for doctors to control the heart rate. You know, the heart rate wouldn't go over 120 if you're using beta blockers. But there are serious health issue. This is a very serious health issue. Young people use it for controlling their anxiety, but it is a really deathly health risk to use those kind of drugs, and there are others too. But as far as I know, the most common drug usage is beta blockers. So, randomly selected people should also be tested for beta blockers in the future for us to become a serious sports.
So,
They do that in the WDF.
so
We
exactly.
also are part of the anti-doping group in Hungary.
Yeah.
And just for your information, WADA doesn't have alcohol as doping on their list.
Yeah.
But the rest of the drugs we were just discussing are on their list, which means that they are like prohibited. Yeah.
So maybe this is one of the issues because if you have different options, but all of them are actually forbidden because they are falling under the anti-doping regulations, and alcohol does not. Maybe it's a question of then the responsible governing body of darts, who is the International Federation, shall say maybe for us, like in archery, for example, alcohol is part of the doping list. So maybe this is something the WDF could do and say, okay, we ban for the players, not for the spectators, of course, you know, but for the players during the play, we ban alcohol because it has an enhancing effect on your skills. It improves you. It's an external thing that improves you and you are playing better. So by definition, it should be on the doping list for us, shouldn't it?
Well, definitely if it's an enhancement, but my opinion is that it's not really an enhancement per se. It's more a mental thing because people believe that if they have one drink, it improves their aiming, it just steadies them, but it's not the case.
Well, I would argue with that. One drink has that effect.
Yeah,
But
well,
maybe if you have two or three,
the problem
because
is
over
that
the time
if
you
you
get
have
used to
one,
it, right? You
if
will
you
not
have
stop.
one,
Yep.
that probably should be okay. But if you have one, then you believe that if I have another one, I'll be better. So it's hard to say from my experience because I tried both ways. It works or it doesn't work either way. I mean, you can play as bad as possible drinking, and you can play as bad as possible sober. So it's not really the thing that the alcohol improves. For some people, maybe. But again, I believe it's in their own mind.
So there are some research actually about the relation between darts and alcohol. This kind of research are made by the south part of the world, like Japanese researchers, sports researchers are doing this kind of technical things about darts. So when one of the research that I have read was saying that if a player starts with the alcohol to the game and then quit the alcohol, then her or his playing quality or success is decreasing. But if a player didn't start with the alcohol, like young generation is, avoiding more from the alcohol, so it's not affecting their play, and it continuously increase this without playing alcohol, continuously increase their playing quality and success. That means we have different generations in that game. One starts with the alcohol previously, and the young generations or coming generation is not, starting with the alcohol when we compare with the other previous one. So we should.
You're telling us that there is already a change ongoing.
Yeah.
So that means we're going to see the results of this kind of change later on. But just from an organizational perspective, is this something where there should be a regulation, or shall we say, let's see what's happened? Because sometimes, when it comes from an intrinsic motivation, the success is better than just by sheer force and telling no, you're not allowed.
My thinking is that there's a lot of, let's say, seasonal players who started by drinking alcohol, and the moment you impose, they will either quit or they will not care so much, because somehow they even though they are top tier players, they still have the mentality of kind of a grass darts players.
But maybe this is something, as the Hungarians do, in the top tier level, they banned it, and for the local grassroots level.
That's something that will take time, and we are looking into it actually. We are trying to do the same thing, but we have to take it slowly, mostly because we do not have a huge number of players, and the risk of losing a part of what we have, it's somehow more important than trying to. What we did try and we succeed is controlling the level. There is no drinking in the venue, in the playing area, which is a very good thing. We also introduced regulations about discipline and the level of alcohol that you see a player that is not really good for the game. We stop that. We take them out of the competition. So we're trying to prevent excessive drinking as much as possible. The rules, the WDF rules actually say nothing about the alcohol, except that if they are not able to play, which is depends on the player. It's could be a very high level or could be a very low level.
But let's see it from a different perspective. We are talking about alcohol in terms of players. We have made the experience, especially in Austria, that alcohol has an important role for organizers of darts events. So, because you need to finance all the expenses, you need to pay a venue, you need to pay, I don't know, a stream, you need to pay this and that, and this all costs money. Where do you get the money from? So money is an issue, and at the moment, not only in Austria, but also in all of Europe, as far as I know, most of the hosts of these kind of tournaments make the income by selling like meals and beverages. And as we all know, the most money you're making with selling alcohol and not with water, basically.
And that's the big problem, because if you do not have a large group of spectators watching the game, and to be honest, when we are talking about national competitions, you have the players and possibly a family member or someone, and that's very few. So the venues, in order to allow you to use the venue, you have to allow them to sell alcohol and food. So if you tell a venue that you want to have it for 2 days or 3 days, but the alcohol is allowed after 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock when the competition ends, you'll have no venues.
That's why I would say that the system we developed, because we've been through all of the stages you mentioned, is kind of good, because if you are still playing, then you cannot drink. But that means that if there is a team coming with you to cheer you, I mean, like you have a friend accompanying with you, he can have the alcohol, and in every 25 minutes there is the half of the playing number of players is falling out from the tournament, which means in every 25 minutes there are more and more people who can drink. You know what I mean? So it's not like having alcohol only after 10 p.m., but it's more like, you know, having more and more people.
Yeah, but then you have a problem, because you have the players drinking, they're out of the competition, and you have your players that are still playing, and they are joining the people who are out of the competition, and they drink. And you have to have a breathalyzer and test them all the time, you know, to see if they consume alcohol or not.
But
those who are still in the competition.
If in case you introduce the rule of not drinking, then you have to test them from time to time, because otherwise it won't work. I mean, if you don't test them, they will start drinking again.
That comes with extra expenses,
yes,
because you have to have the tools to control that.
Yes.
And also you have to have a lot of people doing that, which basically for us at this point, I'm not talking about the future, because the future definitely is going to be the same. But at this point, for us, it's difficult to do that.
I totally understand. And I just wanted to highlight that the idea to have the tournament separately, or for a certain level, to be able to drink while playing is very important, because if you don't offer alternative for the players who still want to play and drink, then you will lose them.
Yeah.
So that's very important. If you start to move toward this direction, then you have to make sure that you offer, you know, alternative.
So basically, it's about alternatives. So we have two different things now. We have players who have already learned as young players that they don't need something to enhance it, because they have it all in them. We also have, and we started that in Austria, with psychologists, with mental coaches, to give all the players, especially the adult ones, alternatives, because some of the players say, I need alcohol at a certain level to get into my flow, and especially to stay into my flow, because that reduces my perception of things that could distract me and get me out of my flow. And there are also like psychological tricks and hints how you can achieve that. So first of all, giving alternatives, okay? And the second thing is, it's more an organizational thing, because if you are, as an organizer, the whole system is depending on selling it, you know, to who's there. And as you said, as we all make the experience on national events, ranking tournaments, national championships, this is not how it is in TV. TV is PDC. It's just an event for spectators. It's like a circus, you know.
But it's a show.
Exactly. It's just a show, and it's for TV, and it's, you know, that is why we have different issues. That is why we have it as a systematic issue. So how can we solve that? That's very easy. You need some income coming somewhere from to cover the expenses, so you're not depending on selling it. So basically, and we made that experience with becoming the recognition of a real sports, that opens up in many countries the possibility to receive governmental funding.
We do.
So you do, Denmark does, for sure, Hungary does, Iceland?
Not yet.
Turkey does, certainly, yeah. Austria also do. And with governmental funding comes also the responsibility what to do with that. And of course, you can discuss a lot, but what is your perception of funding? Is this an important issue? Do you have not enough? Do you have the wrong sources of income? Where can you acquire new sources of income? And what you're going to do with that money?
For us, for instance, we have some funding from the government, definitely probably a tenth of what we need in order to develop as a sport at the professional level of naming it a sport. The last couple of years, we succeeded to contact and get some sponsors from companies that are interested in the development of darts. But as Enrique said in the beginning, TV broadcasting would be the best way in order to get more sponsors and get people on board, because I'm sure that there are a lot of things you can resolve easily and maybe not needing huge amounts of money, but just a little bit of support. Getting back to the alcohol issue, I think that the best way to deal with that is through psychological counseling of all the players. Because once you have a certain routine that gets you motivated and gets you in shape for a competition, you will not need anything else. But the problem is that 90% of the players actually, they started playing in a pub without any instruction, without any counseling, without any advice. So that's how the mentality became a mentality.
So actually you're saying that also dart trainers are actually missing.
Exactly. And we took the first step. We actually had, starting 2 months ago, 5 darts instructors in Romania recognized by the Ministry of Sports. I'm one of them.
Congratulations.
So, thank you very much. It was quite an experience for me to go to school with 20, 18, 19-year-olds. But I enjoyed the experience. And I was particularly attracted about the psychology in darts. And I read a lot of articles, and they were talking about the idea of enhancement before the game, and actually what can be done to avoid that. And if you have a player and if you succeed to get him a routine, something that will make him comfortable. But this, again, you have to study the player, you have to talk to the player should be willing to accept your advice and everything. This problem may disappear easier than we think of.
And once again, it's maybe Mete who has already made the experience, because as we know, the Turkish darts community, the Turkish Darts Federation, has actually already also governmental funding, and they have quite an elaborate training system. So they have not only like trainers, they do have, Mete, explain us the details.
Yes. It was at first mandatory for us to have that kind of structure for our sport, because now we have level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4 trainers. We have technical directors. we have level 1, level 2, level 3 referees, international referees. And why do we have these? Because we had to become a part of the Turkish Ministry of Sports Federation. We had to make those structures available for them. And we are also required to open at least 2 coaching classes a year and at least 2 referee teaching classes twice a year. And we do more than that. And our main customers, if I do say so, are the physical education teachers. You know, because when they enter our courses, they add to their references and other sports which they held a technical director or a coach license. So, with those physical education teachers, we managed to have, more than manageable numbers of youth players, and that brought to success of our youth in the world arena. As I mentioned before, our main problem is keeping them playing after they graduate from their schools. And to make those classes, I used different sports manuals such as archery, basketball, some other team sports. What do they teach their first level coaches? And after that, I structured a 4-level system for these people, and it was very effective, if I do say so myself.
Yeah, thank you very much. One question I still have when we're talking about that, we know that darts, as every other sport, is a sport which you're doing together together with others. But we do have the advantage that we could do that also separated. We could actually play apart in different places. So we could be connected just digitally, virtually. And this is one of the issues also the Digidarts project was all around. You know, how to make it a little bit better, how to get a different point of view to everything. Gila, what was your experience with especially these events, tournaments, basically, that were not played together, but apart?
Yeah. Actually, I am the amateur dart player in Turkey, and I enjoyed dart very much. So during the pandemic times, Corona times, many people had experienced playing online with their equipments in their home. Even the players challenged each other from different countries through some online systems. So that means some sports has a potential to survive or progress by benefiting the digital infrastructures and facilities more and more. We should think about this potentials related to the coming next generation that we were talking about, not drinking too much, working maybe after the match they are going their works. So this kind of infrastructures and facilities can bring diverse people together around the dart sports day by day. I believe that it will increase because time is changing and that will reflect it to the dart sports itself. But I don't believe that the face-to-face on-place darts tournaments and playings will be disappeared. That's not possible. Every time people are saying that some technologies are coming and it will change the whole practices and the habits of the peoples in sports especially. I'm not agree with that idea actually, because that kind of techniques just enhance our capacity to practice our own sports, games or works better and different. So it will be a part of darts game day by day by increasing that digital environment and facilities, techniques. However, the on-place challenges in this sport will continue, because it starts with the leisuring, with consuming the leisure time at the past days. You know, it's something making people more social and more, dependent each other for this game. That's what I am seeing in the next coming future. However, Digidarts, its targets are not just related to providing this environment to the players. It's much more focus on the inclusiveness and diversity, to support diversity in darts as players, like my friends and colleagues say, women's para darts and youth players. And we are going to find some other ways if we have another chance to proceed our project next time.
This is a very good point. We already had some tries, how to connect people virtually, digitally, and Anneke organized a tournament for women together with the Hungarian Darts Federation in the lead, to bring together women all over Europe in like a hybrid tournament. I was told it was where you have like national qualifiers in situ at a venue somewhere in Europe, and then there was a second stage or something. So what was your experience around that?
Yeah, I think technically we are not there yet to have the full experience, to have the same feeling. And I think digital can not just mean to connect the players themselves to play, but also to connect us, like decision makers and people who form this sport, to share the ideas, to share the methods and the know-how with each other, because I think that is one of the biggest benefits we have here. But if I go back to the tournament, I should say I also joined the tournament we had with the sitting dart players, and I was in Budapest, like 120 kilometers away from my player in my country, who played against somebody else from the world. And it was, for me, it was like a supporter, it was a very, very good feeling. And I can tell you that the player felt very good as well. And I think with the women tournament as well, the players enjoyed it. But I think it was a lot of work from my point of view. I think it was a very, very stressful thing.
Yeah,
I don't know if you can share your experience.
Then always when we're learning, it's stressful, but we will get there. The more often we do it, the better we will get.
But it was also stressful for the players. I could see that. You know, they were struggling. They got used to the fast-paced tournament. And seeing others, playing with them, and then they are like just a small number of people, just like very slow pace. So it's a very different feeling, like a different sport. Yeah.
So we got the experience that we get the feedback from people that they mistrust like online tournaments because there are so many possibilities to cheat. So how did you make sure during these tournaments to ensure basically that there's no cheating?
You can only make sure, I see two ways. One of them is to have somebody at the scene, at the venue where they are playing, and overview, watch it like a referee or, like Daniela is, to see that there is no cheating at the playing venue. And the other thing is to have more cameras and to see or use other technical equipment like a Scolia, which is counting for you, or things like that to make sure. But we are not there yet with those equipments at the moment. We are getting there. We are getting there, yeah.
So, and I think why we are here is, to do these steps, to try these things and to push it a little bit forward. I mean, we all won't change the shape of darts, but we are working on it. To form it in a direction where we say to evolve it as a sport, to include everybody of the society, to make our sports accessible. So basically to conclude and to give the answer of the question, darts, so in the future, is this more challenges, is this more advantages, disadvantages, what is the potential? And I think what we have heard now was a good mixture of describing the current situation where we are, We were also discussing, and especially during our project, we were discussing a lot about the goals, where we shall go to, so where we should be. And now we have to go this way. But how to go this way? And there is no simple solution. And, as we're talking about different countries, we are talking about different generations, we are talking about different genders, you need different approaches.
And different mentalities also.
Absolutely.
Maybe different needs. Yeah.
Exactly. When we're talking about darts in Europe, it's maybe a completely different thing than darts in Africa or in Asia. Everything is like slightly different. But what all unites us is the love for the sport, the real wish to excel at our sport, to get better, and with all that, having fun together. So I think, in my conclusion of the whole thing is, darts has a huge potential as a sport to get more and more interest, not only players themselves, but also spectators. We already have huge numbers in audiences and people watching darts on TV. The question is, has darts the potential, and not only in England or the British countries, to become like a national sport? Is that possible? And can we do something for it? Because we all love it. Can we do something? And I think we have to do a lot, and this opens up new opportunities. And as a conclusion of our project, of our Digidarts project, we have now at least some ideas how to proceed, and this opens up many new possibilities, maybe for a new project that we're gonna do together. And for that, I would love to have that as a statement for the very final closing act of our tournament. I would like to say thank you to all of you, Daniela, Mikkel, Chilar, Enike and Ingebjörg. Also Mette, thank you to Ankara that you had the possibility to join us, to exchange opinions and point of views. I'd like to say a big thank you to all our spectators, now live on the stream, but also later on, because everybody can watch this hour of intense discussions again and again and again till the end of mankind. So thank you very much all. Thanks a lot to our technicians who made all this possible, and our partner Streamstar TV. And we say, try it, and we wish you all the best, and always good darts.